Hello, everybody. We're back. That's right. Hardcast Season 2 has begun. We took the summer off to take care of ourselves, to have a good long cry. And good for you listeners, we're back. You can't get enough of us, and you couldn't get rid of us. I am here today to talk about the DxC Summer Regional. I like to call them the Summer Regionals, the Summer Seasonals, the Seasonals, whatever. Everybody else calls them the Regional. I'm wrong. I don't care. And I'm also Billy Mills Curran. I'm joined here with my homie, friend, and crewmate. Please introduce yourself. He was the TO.
Hello, I am Shane Echeverria of the DxC. I
Excellent.
was the tournament.
And we are joined by the winner of the tournament, a Mr. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Aaron Lane.
And you defeated, 107 other highly competitive Magic players, big fans of pre-modern, and you were playing Green-Black Infestation. Can you just give us a 10-second description of what that deck is? Like, what the hell is that?
It is a survival of the fittest madness deck that also incorporates zombie infestation with squeeze and Kravikan horrors to get back to just perpetually make zombie tokens or feed to the wild mongrel.
Is that like, is this like just like green-black survival with a tiny little package, or is it like an entirely different concept altogether?
I would say it's different than like just typical like green-black, like rock survival or whatever, because those decks usually have kind of a lot of the one-offs that are, your situational cards that you want to fetch out to get whatever you need in the moment. This is more sort of just focused in on madness package with survival, and then the infestation with the recurring creatures.
So this is an entirely different deck, and not entirely different, but like a different conceptual understanding. What Terrageddon is to Oath Ponza, what Landstill is to like Mono Blue Tide, or really more maybe like what Dreadnought is to Mono Blue Tide. But we'll get into all this shortly. I want to hear about you, Aaron. You just won this tournament. How long have you been playing Magic for? Like, what was the first booster pack you remember opening?
I started in 1995. So
that's a long time.
Fourth edition and Ice Age were the packs that I was buying initially.
So were you playing like little kid Magic?
Yeah, 95. I was 9.
Oh, okay, cool. Did you ever transition to like a more competitive posture, like trying to qualify for the Pro Tour or anything like that?
I did get to some like Pro Tour qualifiers back in the day. Initially growing up in like, a little town up north in Maine, there wasn't a card shop. There was one like general store in town that sold booster packs, and that's how I got cards. I didn't really start playing like more. Yeah, I didn't start playing more competitively until like high school, when I got a car and I had friends that had cars, because we had to drive an hour to Bangor to play Magic with anybody competitively.
What formats and like what sort of, I don't know, was there a standard season, or did y'all play like vintage or extended or something like that when you were? I guess there were PTQs that are probably standard. What?
Yeah, I played primarily back then. I played a lot of standard. For the longest time, I actually played red-black Goblin Bidding.
Hell yeah.
I played what was extended back then, and I actually played The Rock back then. And I played a little bit of vintage with stacks.
Stacks?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you actually played many of the premier decks, like authentic pre-modern decks from their age, I don't know, contemporary age in real time as sanctioned Magic. Yeah, that's it. Because I like played pre-modern as like that was my like little kid era, and then I quit right when pre-modern ended for like to go and like try and be cool instead of being myself. And then I picked
My
it back.
competitive era.
What's
was
that?
The same my competitive era was the same time as Aaron.
Oh,
So
okay.
we were definitely playing extended at the
Oh,
same
no shit.
time. I actually went to Bangor for a PTQ sometime in the early 2000s. We may have seen each other.
Very possible. I played heavily, probably from like 2001 to 2004 was like my peak Magic career, trying to, boost up my DCI number back then.
Mine was a pretty similar period, and we'd travel anywhere from like southern Jersey all the way up to Maine to try to grind out PTQs. Probably saw each other. Those were definitely the decks that were being played back then. I remember playing as The Rock in 2002 quite a bit.
So Aaron, I just by like eyeballing a calendar. So it's did you leave like a competitive like PTQ scene, or did you just like focus on other things? Did you just like start sucking and then just like not go to them anymore because you just like lost your mojo? Like, was there a break?
2004, I graduated high school and I went to college, and just kind of drifted away from like the group that I had been playing Magic with for so long. So I sold my collection. Heavily regret that now.
Yeah, some painful losses in there.
Oh, for sure. And then I got into it a few times here and there, got back a little bit. Ended up selling my collection a second time right before Modern became a thing. Took a big hit with that one as well, because a lot of stuff went up when Modern became a format. So, and then I guess pre-Modern became a thing, and my buddy Mike Pereira was playing Modern and I think Legacy a bit, and then got sick of that, and he transitioned over into like pre-Modern and was coming up from Mass to go to the monthlies in Scarborough here, and he would hit me up every month. Hey, you should come come play Magic. I got decks you can play. Come on. And I would always just I was like, nah, I got better stuff to do. Nah, I'm good. I don't want to get back into it. And then eventually he wore me down.
He wore. They always do. Shane, did you go to that Scarborough monthly with us?
I did not. That was in Maine? No.
We went to that, like, DxC Crew sent I think like 2 full cars, and we're like, oh, this is great. We got like 8, maybe even like 9 people, and we're like, sweet, we can have like an early car and a late car. Like, this is gonna be great. It's like a 2.5 hour drive up there. We play Magic pre-modern all the time, and it was like 9 people of us, and then I think the total tournament showing was like 27, and they cut to top 16, and none of us made the cut. And
damn.
it was just, yeah, it was humbling, and like, well, fuck us, like, we suck, I guess, like, holy shit, like, yeah, we're gonna bomb this place out. Look, yeah, Massachusetts owns pre-modern. This was in like very early, I think this was the summer of 2022. Yeah, we just got tooled on. Like, we had no, like, it was like the second or third monthly that they had done, so maybe it was 23. But yeah. we've grown a lot since then, to say the least, or at least hopefully. Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. So you found out pre-modern through a mutual friend, and that's great.
Yep.
And then you showed up to, let's see here. We got, I looked at your pre-modern, like, I was looking for some match history for you. And I saw the only stuff I could find was that you played in LobsterCon 25. Did you play in LobsterCon 24?
Yes.
You did? Okay. And then do you play in 23?
No. I think I started playing maybe late 22.
Okay.
And I didn't go to LobsterCon 23. I was like brand new to pre-modern. So maybe it was like late 22, early 23.
Yeah, I think that's about when I started. Yeah.
So I know I didn't go to 23, but I have been to the past two.
Yeah, I went to 23 and just got like I went like 2 and 6. It was my performance was so poor that like a bunch of people doing data analysis to see if Parfait was I played Parfait. And a whole bunch of people were like, "Oh, is Parfait fucked up? Like and they actually like disincluded me from the data set because I was so bad. Oh my god, it was so bad. I was like, I'm going to play 4 main deck duress. I'm going to play 3, and I was on like the not oath version, so you play like werebears and meddling mages, and it was just everybody was scared of land still, and I built like the most land still hating Parfait that could ever be built. And I played against land still, I think, twice, and just completely annihilated, just pummeled it into the ground, and lost every other matchup. And that was the beginning of Billy's first piss baby era. Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I played in the 2 Lobster Cons. I've been down there for the regionals. This was either I want to say this was like my 4th one, maybe.
Okay.
That I've gone down to Mass for.
And
then primarily just play at Phyrexian Life Games in Scarborough, and I did top 8 their 1K last year.
Okay, word. Would you top 8 that with?
Fluctuator.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Was everybody in the top 8 like shit? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about Fluctuator? This guy's about to pants us.
Yeah, I made some people mad.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Did you run into blue for your elimination match, or did you just get fluctuated and didn't draw one?
We didn't even play the top 8. We just all decided to split.
Nice.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I don't remember the matches too well, but I remember that day I was trying to decide like what deck to play. I was like, all right, do I play like just YOLO it on Fluctuator, or do I play a serious deck? And my buddy Chet was like, play a serious deck, like you're gonna like regret it. And I was like, you know what? My dad's in town. I'm just gonna fucking YOLO it on Fluctuator, because I'm either gonna do well and win something, or I'm gonna go 0-3 drop and I'm just gonna go hang out with my dad for the night.
Hell yeah.
And ended up top 8ing with it.
Just make them regret it. You got to keep them honest. That's my favorite thing about Fluctuator, is that it's like you can just really wreck people and they're gonna it's great. Fluctuator's so great.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic deck. Like you just literally say, do something. Like, I'm going to win, you need to do something.
Yeah.
So let's see what I saw. Let me think. You played Survival in the PM side event in May. Yeah, in 2025. And then you played Goblins, Black-Red Goblins, in the main event.
Oh, yeah. When I found out that Goblins was a thing when I got into pre-modern, I was like, oh, these are all the fucking decks I played in like the early 2000s. Yeah. I saw like the Goblins lists were primarily red-green, and I was like, no, I'm bringing Goblin Bidden back.
This is great. Do you have like a main deck that you're like, this is like what I'm all about? Like, don't like when I'm trying to just win. What do you bring?
Goblins.
Goblins. So you're a goblins
Goblins.
main.
I love goblins. Red black goblins.
Red black is cool. I think it's like green red has been the standard for so long, and I think that like the little revival here of like people spreading it and like getting like considering ideas that are outside of canon, I think is I think it's a great thing. It's a great thing for the format.
I like
it's such like even just going from like red green to red black, it's like such a different mindset and play style because I main a living death in my deck. So my thought process is always that my goblins are just 100% expendable and I'm going to win eventually by just living deathing if I need to.
There's living death and then there's also patriarch's bidding.
Yes.
Yeah, but you play, I think living death, you get kind
of the board sweep effect of it as well.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet. So that's great. I'm looking here at my show notes. I'm looking here at my the decks I've seen you play. All right, so we have you here winning the summer regional with green-black infestation aggro. And I'm going to do everybody's favorite thing about deck lists on podcasts, and I'm going to read it aloud. So get ready, everybody. I'm going to read a deck list. There are 22 lands in this deck. 3 City of Brass, 1 Daragaz's Caldera, 7 Forest, 1 Gaia's Cradle, 3 Gemstone Mine, 4 Llanowar Wastes, and 3 Swamps. There are 23 creatures. 3 Arrogant Worm, 4 Basking Ruala, 4 Birds of Paradise, a Bone Shredder, 3 Krovikan Horror, 1 Nantuko Vigilante, 3 Squee Goblin Nabob, and 4 Wild Mongrel. There are 7 instant sorceries, of which 4 Cabal Therapy, 3 Duress, and then there are 8 enchantments, 4 Survival of the Fittest, and 4 Zombie Infestation. The sideboard is as follows: 1 Bone Shredder, 2 E-Plague, 2 Firestorm, 1 Graveborn Muse, 1 Masticore, 3 Naturalize, 1 Ray of Revelation, 1 Smother, 1 Sabo's Web, 1 Uktabi Orangutan, and 1 Withered Wretch. Now that that's over with, let's talk about the deck will be in the show notes. Deck list will be in the show notes. This deck's cool, man. I'm happy to see it. Shane, what do you want to ask Aaron about with this deck?
I have so many questions about this deck. When we were deciding matchups for the featured match for round 5, we were just trying to find something cool. And we saw Aaron's deck, and he was playing against Andrew, who's on Machine Head, and both their lists were like exceptional. We're like, we don't quite understand what's going on, and we want to see them in action. So off the bat, you have 4 Survival of the Fittest. You have roughly 2 Survival Silver Bullets. You have a Bone Shredder and an Taku Vigilante. What was the decision-making process in just 1 Bone Shredder, 1 Vigilante, and the Weathered Wretch being in the board, the Orangutan being in the board, the Masticore, the Graveborn Muse? Usually when I see survival packages, they have 4 to 6 bullets, just things they search out for specific matchups. You really only have 2. Was there a reason behind that?
I mean, you just can't run a ton with this deck because that's not your focus. Your focus isn't to have like all of the silver bullets in the deck that you can fetch for any specific reason. You just kind of have to play whatever ones you think are probably going to be, most useful in your meta. I think the Nantuko Vigilante and the Bone Shredder are probably interchangeable with any of the other one-offs in the sideboard if you think that you would need them for your specific meta.
Excellent. And then some of the sideboard choices, like there's one-ofs that I generally don't see as one-ofs, like Smother tends to be a 2, 3, 4 of index. Sabo's Web, things like that. Can you go over the sideboard a little bit?
Yeah, I think part of it is like you're able to thin your deck out quite a bit with survivals getting squeezed, getting root wallas, getting whatever you need. You're able to thin your deck out quite a bit, so it does help your chances of getting those like one-offs. I've been looking at the sideboard and kind of doing a little bit of like more fine-tuned tweaking to it. Like I would probably cut a Naturalize for a second Ray of Revelation, because that came in big a lot.
Yeah, that's a bold statement to me because many pre-modern decks actually main deck Naturalize. And for naturalized effects in the main, you're just on the single Nantuko Vigilante. It's just that enchantments were a more prevalent threat in your matchups. Why you go down to the Ray instead of the Naturalized?
Yeah, and I didn't really run into too many artifacts that were that big of a deal to me. And the Ray has the added benefit of being able to be pitched to the Infestation to get a zombie and then flashback later. Enchantments are usually definitely much more the problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then the fires. Go ahead.
Are you not intimidated by? Are there any artifacts that you're just like, whatever, man, I'm not scared of you?
I didn't run into any that day, no.
So you didn't run into them, or is that just like you were just like truly? Actually, hang on. I have your match history. I have it right here.
While Billy's looking at the match history, I was going to address the elephant in the room, which is Phyrexian Dreadnought, the artifact. Like, no fear when building the deck list for this? You're relatively confident in that matchup?
I mean, every time I play Dreadnought and they drop a turn 2 Dreadnought, I just lose. Like, in the past, I have literally had... I played red decks and I've had like 2 overloads in my hand, and it's like, cool, you dropped a turn 2 Dreadnought, overload it, I'll daze it. Cool, overload it again, I'll daze it again. I just hate that deck so much, honestly, that if they drop a turn 2 Dreadnought, I'm likely to just scoop and not even deal with it.
So that's a game plan.
That Dog, I knew I liked you.
I mean, dodging a matchup is a game plan. That's a legitimate plan.
Wow. That's so funny. I mean, at some point, like, there is equity of just being like, they put a Dreadnought on the stack and you just like scoop up your cards and like go eat or something.
Yeah. Wow. Like, all right, well, cool. I got, 40 minutes left. I'll hit the Burger King across the street.
Yeah. Yeah, damn. Yeah, tell me how you really feel, man. Yeah, holy shit. So I have some questions. Shane, I'm going to interrupt, and then you can come back in again. How did you resist? So here's my thing. I, too, am working on a survival deck. I've been playing this, I'm trying to develop this, base green white. It's sort of like the Terrageddon deck with the Wayfarers, but I got a survival in it, calling it corned beef hash, and I'm trying to really pick and choose my targets. And you, good sir, have resisted, and you said, "Fuck this, bangers only. I need a Nantuko Vigilante and I need a Bone Shredder." I'm not going to mess with Sylvan Safekeeper. I'm not going to mess with Withered Wretch. I'm not going to mess with Master Court. Like, how did you identify this as it's just so disciplined. It's just so disciplined. Like, how did you get to the point where you're like, no tech, only like core spells, I guess?
Yeah, I think most of the decks I play don't do like the whole silver bullet thing with like a whole bunch of different options, and I think it's just about what are you most afraid of in your matchups, and it's like my deck doesn't do well with flyers, so being able to bone shredder like an exalted angel or something big like that is going to be a problem is pretty key. And then having the enchantment removal or potentially artifact removal of the vigilante, just because of how prevalent like replenish and enchantress and stuff like that is, can be a factor.
And what's up
Being
with...
able to bust like a worship or a solitary confinement or something to like get through the extra damage.
Yeah, those two can be pretty frustrating. Just as like, but I mean that's pre-modern. It's just like bullshit artifacts and enchantments. It's just like fuck
yeah.
this.
As long as I don't see a dreadnought, then I'm good.
Yeah, like it's like a major format identity thing. Is that just like there are these like absolutely bullshit, like way over the fucking top, like completely inappropriate, horrible gameplay artifacts and enchantments. And I think it is certainly a format feature and not a format bug. It's just the threats are just like so outclassed by it. I had the opportunity to play a very different deck recently. I played Mono Blue Tide in an event recently. And just like Stifle Tide kind of reminded me of like Terravor Armageddon or Stifle Dreadnought or Squeeze Survival. Like, I don't know, my whole perspective changed. So I have a much higher tolerance, but like everybody's up to bullshit. And you're up to bullshit too. You got 3 Squee 4 survival in here. Like you're like nobody's innocent in this format. We're all degenerates.
You got to be on some bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. I noticed that you are not on Wall of Roots. Did you try that?
No.
It goes pretty hard.
This is a deck that just wants to go. Like this deck just wants to. It's all gas. Like you just want to get in there and get in there quick. Whether it's with, not even with infestation and just go madness and use your turn dropping root wallas and worms to the mongrel, or getting the engine going to just make a shit ton of zombie tokens. I think Wall doesn't do anything to like gas you out more.
Yeah, that's a good point. This deck is structured much more like this isn't as much a survival deck. This is black green madness much more than it is a survival deck.
Yeah, once you get if you get a survival down and you've got a couple mana free and they want to destroy it, that's cool. Like if I can just get a couple squeeze and a horror or something like that, like I'm fine with that. Like I don't need survival to like run the deck the rest of the way. Like I'm not relying on it to fetch out, the creatures that I need for the situations that come up when you're doing like the madness rock or the survival rock thing, and you've got like 15 one-of creatures that you want to get. Like if I get it down and I get a couple uses out of it, that's all I need.
Yeah, this deck's so cool, man. I want to play it now. Cool. Shane, do you have any further questions for Aaron before I so rudely interrupted you?
No worries. The only other thing I wanted to address was like Three squeeze was a strange number to me. Can you explain the thought process on 3 of squee? Generally, I see it as a 1 of in survival decks, or a 4 of in certain builds of like Madness Infestation. Why 3?
It was just a better balance of like 3 squeeze and 3 horrors. That's just what it kind of came out to be.
Okay, that seems pretty reasonable to me. And then the mana base. The Darigas Caldera is to cast the squee. The City of Brasses are to cast the squee in the Revelations in the sideboard. Is that correct?
The mines, the cities, and the caldera are for. I mean, yes, you could cast squee in a pinch to like have a blocker, or sack it to a therapy or something if you needed to, or to just play it with a horror out and get continued ping damage in or something like that. But they also help you play the rays, or the Ray of Revelation and the Firestorms.
Excellent.
Well,
And
really,
the
it's 'cause there
Graveborn
ain't
Muse,
shit-
sorry.
There ain't shit for black-green mana in this format, Shane. That's why, because he's got 4 Lana or waste and shit else to do.
Yeah.
There isn't, but it seems so painful. Like, you have City of Brass, you have Llanowar Waste, and then I commented on one of Aaron's matches on streams, and I saw him have to sack 2 gemstone mines to cast an Arrogant Worm.
Yep.
So I was just kind of curious about this mana base because it seems painful.
It can be. If you're able to kind of get the engine going, you get the squeeze out, you get the horrors out, and then you're just making zombies. Mana becomes almost irrelevant. Like a lot of my games, I didn't cast much once I got those creatures back into my hand. It was just fodder for more zombies.
Really?
Cool. So let's see here. I'm gonna check my show notes here. So we got a little chat about the deck. Next, we are going to go into your tournament experience. But first, I'm going to cough. And then we're going to take a short little break. And yeah, well, you can catch us back here and just, we don't run ad breaks. Yeah. Catch us back after this break. We're going to refill our water bottles, stretch our legs, and continue on with Aaron's thrilling, enrapturing, enthralling tale to the champion seat at the summer regional event where he won with Black Green Madness. See you in a second. And we are back from our break. Thanks for bearing with us, listeners. We're back. I'm Billy Mills Curran. I'm with Shane and Aaron, and we are talking about the summer regional by Duress crew. I ran the charity booth. Shane was the TO. Aaron won the damn thing on Green Black Madness. He impressed us all with this cool, very slightly off meta, but still pretty established deck. So in addition to Aaron's first place finish, Shane, you, sir, were the first in the TO department. How'd that go for you? How was your day running the tournament?
Well, thank you, sir, for that compliment. It was an amazing experience. I hail from upstate New York, where I TO'd for multiple local game stores before I ended up moving to Mass. So if anyone used to play at the baseball card shop or Tony's Cards and Collectibles in upstate New York, this is me. We played, you were awesome, and I want to hear from you. But aside from that, I ran the Duress Crew Regional, 107 players. It was a fantastic experience. Everyone was amazing. Any issues I had, players were very pleasant. They were forthcoming. We had a great partner in Spice Rack. We were able to pre-register all of our players ahead of time, get deck lists in. I made a fervent pitch to have people register their decks ahead of time, enter appropriate deck names, so that way we could have the right decks on camera, and most people were compliant. I think before round 1 started, I had 100 out of 107 deck lists in, and they were labeled correctly.
That's very compliant. Do you mean appropriate deck names as in like, here's like Dick Butt
As in
Geddon?
someone...
Or do you mean like...
No, archetypes. So someone didn't register Terrageddon and call it Merfolk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And, people might do something like that to conceal information, but this is pre-modern. We're a community format. There's no sense in trying to get that 0.5% edge against your opponent. Like, we're all here to have a good time, and almost everybody did that. And then of the 7 that didn't, I think like 5 of them had a couple issues, and I walked them through it, and we were able to get them resolved. So it was a great experience from a TO perspective. All the judge calls are reasonable. Didn't have to disqualify anybody. Didn't have any negative player experiences. Aaron, like, how was the experience from your end?
It was great. I mean, every time I've been down there to the regional events, it's always been great. The pre-modern community is great. Everyone's always pretty helpful, and yeah, no complaints here.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we put a lot of work into it. Great stories. The store that hosted it is a fantastic partner. We also had Jay McCowan running the stream. He is excellent. He does not get enough credit for what he does. His stream is, I'd say, second to none at this point. Maybe.
Shane, did you catch his feature with Will Hurst on I've Got Questions?
I have not. When did that go up?
So he is beginning to get enough credit. That just went up like, I don't know, a week ago, within the last like 2 weeks.
Got it. I'm a little bit behind on my podcast, so I have to take a look. But
yeah,
Jay's stream is maybe second to the official Wizards of the Coast Magic the Gathering stream.
Yes, it's
maybe
insane.
Second to that.
It's so good. So Shane, you ended up as TO because like in the Duress Crew Discord, we've been having, and amongst like the movers and shakers, the people who put the time and the effort in and like choose to invest their own money and blah blah blah. We were like, oh, like we should focus on like cross training. Like Billy and Brad are working on the podcast. Nick is like being the face, being the fearless leader. Like Brandon's got the PDEP. And then you were like, oh, like I'll TO. And we're like, okay, cool, like cross training in the crew. Like everybody's gonna get developed. We're gonna become this like highly skilled organization. And it's like, dog, I don't need any training. I got this. And he like completely wrecked it. Like you just did a great job. Like no issues whatsoever. I think you did a great job.
Thank you. So more or less, I've been TO for stores in New York for roughly a decade. Actually maybe a little bit less. I think I was 14 when I TO'd my first event and 23 when I moved to Mass.
Okay.
So I had been TOing events for almost 10 years across 2 different stores. It wasn't anything
What's the
new
worst
to me.
TO mistake you've ever made?
Not announcing. So there was a store where we had limited space. By limited, I mean roughly 48 seats.
Yeah. And
there was a large event that we did not predict would sell out our seats. Our regular crowd was roughly 20, maybe got up to 25 on a good day. And I think it was the 8th edition pre-release, which was the something anniversary of Magic. I don't remember how many years ago that was at this point. It might have been like 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we sold out. And we had to turn people away. That was a miserable experience from my side. It was a miserable experience from the player's side. The store owner wasn't particularly happy about it. So that was probably the biggest TO mistake I ever made.
Yeah, have you ever like DQ'd a player or like gotten a banned or anything like that?
I've DQ'd one player in my entire event history, and there was the player had a judge call.
Yeah.
I was also a level 1 judge at the time.
Okay.
I answered the judge call. I was TO/judge. I was a level 1 judge at the time. They did not agree with my ruling. They appealed. There wasn't really an appeal process. So I went to the 3 best players in the room and I said, is this the correct ruling? It wasn't that the player did something wrong. It was how cards interacted.
Yeah.
And the 3 best players in the room also agreed that I was completely correct on it. And the player did not agree. So they went on a racist tirade.
Okay, yeah, that's the boot.
And threatened me.
Yeah, bye. Bye.
So I
bye, asshole.
disqualified them from the event and
Hell
said
yeah.
they were no longer welcome in the shop.
King. That's
And that was the only disqualification I've done in... I guess I've TO'd at least 500 events at this point.
that dog. That is like the fastest way out the door is to like start like ad hominem stuff, and especially not just like you smell and you don't understand magic, but to like go about a personal, like, especially like a legally protected characteristic, like out the fucking door, you fucking loser. That's terrible.
And it wasn't necessary. I wasn't incorrect. That was the part that was distressing.
Yeah.
I made the right call. To this day, I verified with judges that it was the right call, other judges, and I, went to the most senior. My LGS that I grew up in, we have multiple Grand Prix champions playing at it.
Yeah.
We are not in a shortage of good Magic players.
Yeah.
And I consulted with multiple, and they were like, "You are correct."
Do you remember?
I do not remember the interaction at this point, but I remember that it wouldn't have killed the match. It wasn't a game loss and the match is over. At worst case scenario, it was a game loss and they had more games to go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And the person just went on a racist tirade against me.
Yep.
And then threatened my person. And, I disqualified them. And then I talked to the LGS owner and I was like, hey, can I ban this person? He's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he was behind me and we discussed it and we said, you're no longer welcome to play events here. And that was it.
That was it.
That was...
Bye, dickhead.
Absolutely. So we are back to more pleasant experiences at Great Stories. Never had to disqualify anybody.
Yeah.
The community has been amazing. The vibes were amazing. I had great conversations with other crews, like the Granite State Grinders and the Tolarian PTA. I talked to members of them. They were all excellent. Every interaction I had was pleasant that entire day in a 107-person event. And I think the charity raffle went pretty well. Is that correct, Billy?
Yeah. So this was my realm of influence. We had phenomenally generous contributions by everybody. There were some, like the Calgary crew. There's a let's see, I have his name and I want to give him the proper credit. Oh, I'm gonna be such a jerk if I don't have this. Oh, please let me have it handy. No, I don't know. Yes, Oro Senin on in Discord goes, yeah. They sent me a beautifully altered shiny dress. There's this cool like gold acrylic decal that was pasted over. It was stunning. Zoo Crew showed up with a 75 out of 75 whole ass zoo deck, like a PM deck, like fetch lands, Ice Age, Pain lands, like not survivals, Sylvan libraries, like just a whole ass deck, completely stamped. Zoo Crew all the way. So cool. Raffled that off. Tolarian PTA put up a promo dress, like an F&M promo dress, which those look incredible.
I think they had frantic searches as well.
Yeah, they put in some stamped frantic searches. Tolarian PTA has been showing up lately. I ran into them at the Sacred Torch event, which I am not going to talk about too much on this episode. It's something that's tough about this is that I sell raffle tickets by cash, and then I also have a direct Venmo link to the charity's Venmo, Worcester County Food Bank. So, and I don't track that. I'm just like, okay, just show me your Venmo receipt and I'll give you the appropriate amount of tickets. Like, I don't care. Like, just, yeah, sure, give me money and I'll give you tickets. That's how this works. So the raw cash that ended up in the crew box was something like 500 something bucks, but like only about a third or a quarter of people give me cash. So I would estimate somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 were raised, which is a phenomenal feel good. I am extremely proud of this community, both for generously giving up their treasures and for ponying up to pay for these raffle tickets. It's really nice. I'm just like proud of the gang. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being so cool. I wish I was cool as y'all. It was Nick's birthday, so I got to put a few trays of cookies out because Mrs. Sackboy showed up with some treats to give out to celebrate his birthday because he's our very special boy, our special birthday boy. That was nice. But at the end of the day, there was one boy who was more special than all the rest. And that special boy is Aaron Lane, who's on this podcast with us. So, Aaron, how was your event? We're doing it. Now's the time.
It was great.
It was great. I'll say it was great.
It was great.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Didn't even plan to play this deck. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, just audible last minute decision.
Yeah, intended on playing goblins. Played some games the night before. Terrible draws. Couldn't win a game to save my life. And I got pissed off. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not playing goblins."
You just said, "Fuck it."
Just looking through the decks I brought, I'm playing this zombie infestation.
Zombie.
And
That seems like
paid off.
that seems like a solid audible because just a quick precursor of your matches. It doesn't look like you lost a match of Magic the Gathering the day.
I didn't 9-0-1 with only four actual games lost the whole day.
That is fantastic. I top 16 LobsterCon in 2024. I lost more games than that by round 4. Like, that is insane.
Yeah, it did well. It performed.
So
Also, dodging Dreadnought was a strategy too. So
that is a strategy. Sometimes you just have to pick a match you're going to lose to and dodge it.
Yep.
So I'd like to continue forward, round by round. Round 1.
Yeah.
You sit down, you shuffle up, you play Ian, who's on Dead Guy L. Can you tell us about that matchup?
Honestly, there's not a ton to tell about that one. Looking at my life pad, the lowest I ever went was 17, and I swept him 2-0. It was a quick round. I think our entire round was over in about 15 minutes. Discard doesn't do well against Madness. You know, it's you're gonna Gerard's Verdict me? Okay, I'll pitch a Squee and play a Root Walla for free.
I concur. That seems like a poor matchup for Ian.
You're gonna get out a Hypnotic Spectre. I've got out an Infestation. I will just never have cards in my hand and always make zombies.
A couple questions. Did he cast an Exalted Angel? Did you run into one? That's honestly the only card I could see being a problem in this matchup. I wanted to see if maybe an Exalted Angel got bone shredded or maybe it just never resolved.
I know I bone shredded an Exalted Angel in a later match, but I can't remember if I exalted one that match. I honestly don't remember seeing a ton of cards from his deck.
No worries. 2-0 is pretty decisive.
The games were pretty quick.
Absolutely. So in that case, I'd like to move on to your round 2 against Cole, who was on Goblins. You have any
Red Goblins?
Yes,
My
I
favorite.
didn't actually check out the list yet, but yeah, it was Black Red Goblins, and he was on Brown New Crusade on the main, which is something I
He
don't think I
was.
see very often.
I was shocked to see it game one. Because when I play it in my list, I play either 3 or 4 in the board. But he dropped one game one, and I was like, oh, Crusade main. That's a bold statement.
Okay, is that the game that you lost against him? Was it game one? Did Brown
It
New
was
Crusade
game one
kind
that
of
I
catch you
lost.
by surprise, or?
Game one, he just had what goblins does. He had a turn one lackey. I know I played a turn one blocker. I don't remember if it was a birds or a root walla. And then he had the gem palm to kill it, hit me with the lackey, and goblins just did what goblins does and kind of steamrolled the game. The crusade, I don't think, was a winning factor for him. I think it was just kind of a win more thing at that point.
Sure. As you said, goblins did what goblins does.
Goblin,
Boarding. What's your sideboard plan for that matchup look like?
Masticore and Firestorms. And I did bring in Ray of Revelation as well.
And E-Plagues? No E-Plagues?
And E-Plagues. I did bring in E-Plagues. Those were pivotal in game 3.
So that's what I figured. My follow-up question is, what do you cut out of this deck? Because it looks so synergistic that, like, I don't know what I remove. Probably some duresses, maybe, but, like, I'm not even sure.
I think I took out the Bone Shredder and the Vigilante because I didn't want to have to search for them. I think they're too slow against goblins. I frequently would either cut one Squee or one Horror if I needed to. And then I think I probably cut a Worm.
Okay,
and then Duress is usually a good cut against goblins.
Okay, yeah, that all makes sense. And then you were able to pull away with the 2 post-board games, right?
I did. Game 2 was pretty steamrolly in my favor. I drew both Firestorms, and being able to, Firestorm, pitch a land and a root walla, play the root walla for free, hit your ringleader and your pile driver for 2, have a root walla for a blocker. Was pretty good.
That sounds amazing. The more I hear about this deck, the more I kind of want to sleeve it up.
Yeah, so game 2 was pretty heavily in my favor. Game 3, looking at my pad here, I was at 3 life when I won. I got out a clutch engineered plague, and which left him with a siege gang commander and a pile driver on board, and I was at like 10 or 12 life at that point when that happened. And so there was a lot of pressure to kind of try to kill him before he could draw enough 2 toughness goblins to chuck him at me with the siege gang.
Yeah,
which is what he started doing, and got me down to 3.
Well, it looks like you were able to steal the deal, so it ended up going in your favor, so it was a solid matchup.
It did.
So round 3, you were against Sly. Looking at Henry's list, and the main deck looks pretty stock. Generally, what I expect from Sly, aside from the land count's a little bit higher than normal, 22 I think is a little bit excessive for Sly. Other than that, it's very much a standard list. How was your matchup there?
I won game 1. Although I was at 2 life when I won, which is pretty scary against Burn. Game 2 I lost. He just had an insane draw, and did what Burn does. They'll draw the bolts, they'll draw the ball lightnings, and then have a fire blast or two at the end to finish you off.
Definitely. Did you see any of the sideboard hate? I know that. Well, I can see a Zek list. Ian has Tormod's Crypt in the sideboard. Was that impactful in your matchup?
He never saw a crypt. He did have Earthquake. Which
How was Earthquake?
I don't think it really affected me too bad. I think he cast it once. It wasn't that bad. I did see it before he cast it with some hand hate. But it wasn't too crazy. And he never saw Crypt, luckily for me.
Excellent.
Game 3 was pretty down to the wire as well. If he had top decked a lightning bolt, it would have been over. I was at 2 again, game 3.
That's generally how matches against Sly seem to play in my experience, is you put them to the test. Like, you stabilize at 5 or 2, and you need them to just brick a couple draw steps and you get it. Or they don't brick the draw steps and you lose.
Yeah, because he had... I was at 5. I remember he had 4 mana out. And 1 card in hand, which was a Sulfuric Vortex. So he needed to rip a bolt in order to kill me.
Okay, and you were able to fade that draw step, it seems.
Yeah, luckily.
Very nice. Let's move on to round 4. Round 4, you were against Chris, and he was on land still. And if I look at Chris' list, I actually, based on my plebeian knowledge of pre-modern and my experience as a player, I don't know if you're favored in this matchup. How did it go?
Hang on, wait. I wanna interrupt. Shane, do you know Chris?
Chris Alexander?
Yeah.
To the best of my knowledge, I do not. Do I know Chris?
Okay, I was just wondering because you said the knowledge of the player. So Chris.
Sorry, I misspoke. I meant knowledge of the deck. So I misspoke.
I know
apologies.
Chris pretty well. And I want to interrupt for a quick Chris story. Chris used to be the manager at TJ's.
Really?
Yeah, well and prior to their move. I don't know when, maybe if I could really just estimate, maybe like 2011 or 2012 when he left. But he had been working there for years. And he was very competent and very kind. And I used to work at TJ's just like Saturdays. I would show up and work for store credit, like minimum wage in store credit, just like sorting bulk, which is like not the most compliant employment practice. It's fine, if like it's like, okay, I just, if I want to get a Baneslayer Angel, I'll just show up on Saturday and sort bulk, and I get to leave a Baneslayer Angel, or a fetch land or whatever, or like a dual land back when they were $60. And I remember I was working, and then it went from sorting bulk to taking out the trash to restocking the vending machine, blah blah blah. And then eventually, there was some case where I had to I knew how to run the register, but somebody, for whatever case, it was like, oh, Billy, can you get this? I was like, yeah, I can do this. And then Chris later on was like, you're not touching that register for store credit. You have to make cash you have to get paid if you're gonna. So I will address this. And he went and he spoke to Tom, and it was Chris's advocacy that got me off of store credit and onto actually getting paid as an employee. So I worked at TJ's for a summer, and it was Chris's commitment to a dignified workplace. So Chris is a good dude, kind. He's been playing Magic forever. So that's my Chris Alexander story, and it pleases me to no end to see him joining our community and playing pre-modern. Chris, I still haven't forgotten. You were a good manager.
That is awesome to hear. I moved to Mass in about 2010.
Yeah.
And TJ's is where I played Standard for a number of years. Our local store, That's Entertainment, really focused on like Legacy at that point,
Yeah.
Draft. So there wasn't a lot of Standard going on, and I played at TJ's during that period while you were working there. And I don't remember people by name, but I remember always having a pleasant experience for that like 2-ish year period from 2010 to 2012, maybe 2013, where I played there. So I thank you and Chris for fostering a great environment.
Let me think. Hang on. Yeah, I worked there in the summer of 2010.
Yeah, you may have seen me.
Yeah, I ran like the Wednesday night draft. I think Tuesday or Wednesday. One or the other.
I don't think I ever went there on a Wednesday. I think I was strictly a Friday night F&M person, and Saturday when they had the, PTQs back in the day, or RCQs, whatever they are now. And they used to have this event called what was it called? The North American Challenge or North American Championship?
Something like that.
Something similar like that. And you would play in the event, and if you won first place, they would hand you your deck in foil.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
So, that was a great environment and a great location, a great store at that time. Haven't been there recently, but I definitely want to thank you and Chris for fostering a great store during that era.
Well, you're welcome. So anyways, that's my interjection. But again, back to Aaron. Round 4 against Chris, who you now know. You're about to tell us like, oh yeah, he accused me of cheating. He called a judge on me twice. Like I caught him stacking his deck and he got away with it. He appealed everything that was against his favor. Yeah.
None of that.
None of that? Okay, but how was the gameplay?
I definitely agree with you, Shane. I don't think that I'm favored in that match. However, I did 2-0 it. It did seem like he got land flooded quite a bit both games. So I think that probably helped me.
Yeah, that definitely can happen when you play a 26 land deck. Do you have any recollection of the actual games?
Not a ton. I don't think it was super.
Were they super aggressive, like Mongrel on 2 or Infestation on 2, followed up with making threats, and they really weren't answered?
Getting out Infestation early was definitely like the game plan, because once it's out, I can just make tokens and tokens and tokens that he can't counter. I don't really have a ton of memory about this matchup. It wasn't. He didn't do a ton of damage to me. I think game 1 I was at 15 when I won, and that was all self-inflicted.
No, that makes sense. It seems like
I think he just got unlucky and flooded out quite a bit.
Oh, it, again, makes sense. It seems like a game where he would be on the back foot. If I had to guess, looking on the list, he would eventually stabilize and maybe be able to pull ahead, especially with cards like Humility in his deck. But it seems like he wasn't able to do that.
Never saw that. Nope. I never saw Humility. Didn't see a ton of manlands either. And he did. I do remember that he did. It might have been game 1. He was pretty aggressive with his standstills. He dropped one like turn 2. And I've learned from playing against landstill enough that you just fucking crack that thing as soon as possible. Like, you don't let him sit on it and let them stall the game out. And as much as it sucks to let him have 3 cards, it sucks to let them stall you out for 3 or 4 turns and then draw 3 cards. So every time he played a land still, I broke it on my turn right after he played it.
Yeah, that seems like a solid game plan into that matchup. Were like Duress and Cabal Therapy pivotal?
They helped for sure. I was able to get a little bit of information here and there and strip some cards out of his hand wraths or just any counter or card draw. I have his hand written down here quite a few times, so I did duress or therapy him quite a bit.
Excellent.
But yeah,
So,
breaking the standstills, that's the key to playing against standstill, I think, is as soon as they play it, you crack it. Make them overdraw. That's the best thing to do.
Yeah, it sounds like a solid win. A 2-0 is pretty impressive. So if we move on to round 5, as the TO, round 4 feature match was a rematch of the finals of LobsterCon. It was Justin Provençal and Rich Shea on their respective decks. That was, the same round that you played against Chris Alexander.
Yep.
And that's who I featured on feature match. Round 5 was Rich Shea, 2025 LobsterCon champion, versus 2024 LobsterCon champion Brian Selden. And myself and the stream organizer both looked at the matchups, looked at the list, and chose to go ahead with your matchup against Andrew, who was on Machine Head. We we just had Enchantress on the previous match. We didn't want to run Enchantress back 2 matches in a row. It's a little bit much.
Sure.
2 LobsterCon champions back-to-back is very impressive, and we were very tempted to run them, but we thought your match would be so much more interesting. How was your match against Andrew?
Yeah, so I won it 2-0. I think again, it's similar to like playing Dead Guy round 1. I think in the discard matchup, I'm pretty heavily favored because I want to discard cards anyway. So I was surprised to see Silent Specters. I haven't seen that in a Machine Head list in a while. Like, I played Machine Head myself quite a bit. I've never played the Specters, so he played a morph creature the first game, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I was surprised when he flipped it. But again, just I want to discard cards too, so I don't think that really is as impactful in this matchup. Because I'm just gonna, if you give me a choice to discard something off of a Spectre or something, I'm just gonna discard something I can cast for Madness or something I can get back for free. Or I'm just gonna pitch my whole hand to the Infestation and have nothing to get rid of.
So I don't remember the exact details because I was TOing, but I was looking over your match as I was TOing because my station was right next to the feature match area, and I saw some instances where it looked like you were playing from behind. Were there ever any instances in the match where you felt like you were behind? I think there was an instance where there was like a Silent Spectre and you didn't have too much on the board.
Yeah, he had the Spectre, and I think I only had like a zombie token or 2 and a Root Walla. And I just had to go for it. I mean, again, my deck doesn't deal well with flyers. So I just kind of had to be as aggressive as possible and try to get in as much damage as I could.
Very nice, very nice. So post board, what does your boarding plan look like into Machine Head?
Did I bring in against Machine Head? I brought in I believe I brought in Smother. And I think I put in a couple naturalizes, and that was it.
Okay, yeah, seems pretty solid. I mean, you were able to pull away from it 2-0. Were there any like all-stars in the matchup, like something that felt stronger than you would have thought?
Not really. It definitely didn't feel good when he played like two racks like early on game 2. Because you can see in the video, I definitely got the triggers wrong the first time. I thought I could get back the squeeze before the damage, which is not the case. So I had to kind of pivot and rely more on the horrors because the horrors come back at end step. So I got the horrors, and then I could start pitching them during his turn to make zombies. And as long as I kept one, card in my hand, if I had, 2 horrors recurring every turn, I could dodge the rack and Lava-Born Muse damage.
Yeah, when I looked at this match and decided to make the feature match, I actually thought that Lava-Born Muse and the rack would actually be more impactful, and it'd be a closer match based on those cards, because you want to empty your hand of madness, and as you now know, the triggers do not stack in your favor.
That's super heads up. That's a super heads up play.
So I thought it'd be a little bit closer match, but an awesome job taking it away.
Yeah.
So round 5. You played against Sam on Replenish. Someone asked me round 3.
Round 6.
I'm sorry, round 6. My apologies. Yeah. I'm losing track of time. Round 6, you played against Sam on Replenish. Someone asked me round 3, who I thought was going to win the event, and I said it was Sam on Replenish. He was playing very well that day from what I saw. I watched maybe half of one of his matches, and he was playing very tight. His execution was great. I thought he was likely to win it. And then he runs into you and picks up, I believe, his first loss of the event. How was that match?
Yeah, so this was kind of a, I guess, pivotal match for the rest of the tournament for me, because going into this, there were 3 of us who were 5-0. I believe it was me, Sean Morgan, and Brian Selden. And Brian and Sean got paired together, so they were able to intentionally draw to, be able to guarantee their top 8. I got the pair down, and obviously, Sam doesn't want to draw because that doesn't help him get in. So I had to play it out, and I got to be honest, I fucking hate playing against Replenish.
This guy's such a king, just like you're the hatefulness. It's just delightful.
The only other thing besides a dreadnought that will usually make me scoop on sight is someone just doing parallax bullshit and making me have no lands. That just makes me salty. And so normally I have been one to just say fuck this and concede. I couldn't, because I didn't want to take the loss. I wanted to get this win in. And so game 1, he was so unlucky. He drew off of his attunement probably 6 times, and I was able to strip a Replenish out of his hand early on, and he did not find another one after at least 6 uses of attunement. And I was able to just completely overrun him with creatures.
Excellent. Was there any counterplay on his end? Was he waving your creatures to buy time, or was it just every turn attunement dig, attunement dig, attunement dig, fail to find, lose?
Pretty much, he was on the attunement plan, and he was just bounce attunement, draw the cards, pitch, play attunement, pitch, play attunement, go. Yeah, and I think his other replenishes were all in like the bottom 10 cards of his deck.
Ouch, that'll do it. So if I
Yeah.
had to guess on paper, I would have guessed that Sam was favored in this match, but you still took it 2-1. So how did the next two games play out?
Game 2, he boarded in Angels against me, Exalted Angels, and he was able to get an Angel to really do some damage. And then able to just do the replenish things and make me never have lands or creatures. So
Yeah, that'll definitely do it.
game 2 was heavily in his favor.
Did you side out the Bone Shredder in this matchup?
So game 2, I did. I didn't even think about him bringing in Angels, and I subbed out the Bone Shredder.
Excellent, excellent. What about game 3?
Game 3 was a good one. He played another Angel, and I had out a Survival, and I had out a Infestation, and I had out some other creatures, and I was making zombies. He had hit me a couple times with the Angel. He got above 20 at one point. And then I had some pretty massive swings. Looking at the life total, he went from 22 to 8. So I was able to get some big swings in with tokens and creatures. At one point, he hit Attunement, and I think this is probably where he went wrong. I don't know if he like just got tunnel visioned into trying to do the replenish things or not. But when he cast Attunement, he ended up pitching another Exalted Angel and a Swords. And I am 100% certain that if he just played that second Angel, he would have outraced me with the damage and the life gain, and he would have absolutely won.
Did you have a weathered? Sorry, did you have a weathered wretch or something, or was he just like kind of, to the best of your knowledge, just digging for a replenish?
At that point, I didn't have a withered wretch out. I did play one later on, like a turn or two before I won. But we went to time, and I had played a wretch. I had removed quite a few things from his graveyard. I don't remember if he cast a replenish or if he just hard cast it, but he cast a parallax wave, and he swung with his Angel, knocked me down to 4, brought himself from 8 up to 12, and then he kind of did the math on, okay, if he uses all 5 counters off of his wave, he could remove enough creatures to be at 2. So there was very little I think I could have drawn in that moment to win, because his math was right on. When I did swing out, he exiled like my worm and a bunch of tokens, and I put him 2. And I had no cards in my hand. But my draw for that turn, I top decked a Birds to play as a block. He had no cards in hand either. And I top decked a Birds to play as a blocker for his Angel. And that won me the game.
That's amazing. Because he had to remove all 5 wave counters to stay alive. Yep. So he couldn't remove 1 to deal with the bird.
Yep, I got the attack in, knocked him to 2, and then slammed down the Birds. And, it's like, you got one chance to top deck something, because I'm coming in for a lot next turn again. And, I don't remember what he top decked, but it wasn't anything to win.
That is an excellent finish to a close game. We go to the final round of the Swiss, and you're paired against Sean Morgan, and it looks
Yep.
like you take an intentional draw.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Did you know what Sean was on before you played the match?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and it was a decision just to draw to both secure your relative seeding, or you didn't want to play it
Yeah.
and maybe have first seed in, or what was your logic there?
I had first seed anyway because I ended up being the only 6-win person going into the top 8 because of the fact that I got that pair down and had to play Sam in the 6th round.
Oh, that's amazing. Awesome. So you were secured no matter what. So it was almost a favor to Sean that you accepted the draw, because you would have possibly knocked him out with the win.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
that comes
take the
later,
intentional
though.
draw.
Yeah.
Say we're about to go there.
Yeah.
So you take the intentional draw. You have some
Yep.
downtime now. You have 50 minutes plus, 5 extra turns.
Yep.
Anything going through your mind? Do you do anything to get ready for this top 8? What's your process?
I went and watched my buddy Mike finish his match, and then we went to Burger King.
Awesome. Yeah, it was Mike Guerra, right?
Mike Pereira, yep.
Pereira, yes. I met him during the event. He's a good guy. Anything important happened? Did you discuss strategy while eating Burger King, or just kind of relax and got ready for your, top 8?
Just kind of relaxed. Looked at the pairings. Tried to figure out if I recognized who might be in the top 8 and what decks that they were playing, or if he recognized any of them and knew what they were on. The only ones that I knew of, I knew what Brian Selden was playing, and I knew what Sean was playing, and I didn't really know a ton about what anybody else was playing. And then just prayed to dodge Dreadnought.
I think Sam that you played on Replenish stuck in an 8 seed as well.
Yes, he did. I was very happy to not play him again. Because I don't think that game goes in my favor normally. Game 1, that fluke of most of his replenishes being in the bottom 10 or so cards of his deck was just that. It was variance, and I don't think that game goes in my favor ever.
Okay, so based on what you knew about the top 8, was there matchups that you would rather play against than wouldn't rather play against?
I was already pretty confident at beating Goblins and Burn, so I didn't really care about playing either of those.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So we move on to your top 8 match. And I believe you're playing Drew, who's on Enchantress.
Yes.
Do you know?
Have you had experience?
Let me hop in here. Do you know Drew?
No, I'd never met him before that day.
So Drew is a Massachusetts. No, he lives in southern New Hampshire. He's funny. He's cool, and he is also ferocious. We did a year in review episode, and I tallied up how often people had made top 8 to the ELD monthlies in Bellingham.
Mm-hmm.
I tallied up top 8s from our seasonals, and I tallied up LobsterCon scores just to see if I could catch if there were any trends or anything like that. And Drew had, I think he tied. Let me think. For 2024, he tied for, or something like that, for the most ELD top 8s, and he was one of 2 people who had top 8'd 2 of our seasonals. And I think he won one. I'm not sure. Or he might have come in second or something like that. And based on sort of my very totally contrived, but there was a method to it. I alleged that besides the end game final bosses of Brian Selden and Rich Shea in terms of like those are the the gods, but of the demigods, I feel that Drew is probably the third best PM player in New England. Justin Provençal is giving a very compelling showing lately because he's gone all in on the format in the last 6 months. But Drew is the same tier, possibly better. But really, really strong player, and he's ferociously good, and nobody talks about him. He's just like always around in like every top 8, and he's disgusting. So perhaps it's for the best that you did not know him. Because he's like, I'm glad when, and he plays ridiculous decks. He plays something different every time, and he's so good. Shit. Anyways,
I had talked to him for like 2 seconds before that because he had a little bit of an edge going into this game that I did because he knew what I was playing.
Yeah.
Because towards the end of my game with Sam, we had quite a crowd kind of around us because I think we were the last game playing.
Yeah.
And people were interested in my deck. They were like, "What the fuck is that?" And he was one of the people who was watching my game. And when I finished, he congratulated me and said, that deck looks fucking sick.
Yeah.
So I think he had a little bit of an edge in going into this game just because I had no clue what he was on.
He appreciates spice.
And he had seen like half of my deck.
Yeah,
so.
He appreciates spice. He appreciates pushing the format forward. So that's very on character for him to be like, hell yeah, dog. This is something creative and contributing to overall meta health. Yeah, he's appreciates some biodiversity in his natural environment. So cool. How'd that match go?
Pretty heavily in my favor. I think he got flooded both games, if I can remember. It might have been the second game. One of the games, I think both games he played out like an early Miri's Guile. And then I realized what he was on, and I think I therapied him, naming Argothian Enchantress, and whiffed on the first one. And then it just seemed like he didn't find much in the first game. He flooded out a bit. And then the second game, I brought in Ray of Revelation. I brought in Withered Wretch. And I was able to, I think I pitched the Ray early to Infestation and saw that he wasn't really doing much. He had out like Amiri's Guile, and he had out lands, but it didn't really seem like he was doing too much. So I flashbacked the Ray to destroy his Guile, to just try to slow him down more.
I mean, it seemed like it worked out. It was a solid gameplay. Can you tell me about your sideboarding in that match?
I know I brought in the Wretch. I brought in the Ray, and Smother, and I think 1 or 2 Naturalizes.
I mean, all those seem fine. I had a question about Smother. Was there a particular target for it?
Wait, no, I'm thinking of a different game. Not this one. Not Smother. That was for Terror.
Okay.
Not this one.
That makes sense then.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think he just got very unlucky and flooded out a lot, even though he was seeing a lot of cards with Miri's Guile. Watching the video, going back and watching it on Twitch, I think at least a couple of the times, I think, he looked at his cards for Miri's Guile, and it was like 3 lands.
Got it. I mean, that's what it takes to win a tournament. Everyone has to, get lucky sometimes, and opponents need to get unlucky. It's part of the winning experience. But you were able to apply pressure, right? You know, had a mongrel on some early turn, is that correct? Or an infestation, something?
I believe so. I believe I got out some early pressure both games. Um, I know at one point he dropped like a seal of cleansing and went to um, cleanse my infestation, and I kind of had a choice to make at that point, and I just said I'm going all in on the tokens, and I um, pitched my whole hand to make a couple zombies before the infestation died.
I mean, that's a
Because
very
I
heads up
wanted to.
read.
Yeah, I just wanted to try to get in as much pressure as I could before he could start really just drawing an insane number of cards and doing, the things Enchantress does.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a very heads up read because if he had a parallax wave, that goes pretty poorly for you. So you were able to make the right decision in that play, which was awesome.
Yeah, one of the games he did end up playing a wave and took like my root walla, which I can't remember the gameplay entirely, but it did seem a little weird to me to take the root walla because I'm gonna get it back. I never get back the tokens, so I mean,
I mean, if I was Drew, my reasoning for that line would be because it saves me 1 point of damage, and maybe
sure,
his out was he does the thing, and then at 1
yeah,
life he stabilizes the
very
solitary
possible.
confinement or something. So that would be my reasoning behind it, but I was not in that player's seat.
Yeah.
All right, so you were able to take this one 2-0, and we get
Yep.
to the semifinals, which was a match that myself and Justin Provençal actually had the pleasure of commentating to.
Mm-hmm.
So it was you and LobsterCon 2023 and 2024 champion Brian Selden, who was on Oath Spec.
Mm-hmm.
How was that matchup for you?
Terrifying. I was playing Magic back when Brian won the 98 World Championships, and I've never played against him before, and so sitting down across from a world champ and someone who knows way more than me about the game, and is going to sort of be able to see lines that I won't see, was terrifying. I kind of had resigned myself to losing that one, that this is probably where it ends, but you know what, it was to a world champ, and that's fine with me. You know what I mean?
That's an easy loss to forgive.
That's an easy one to swallow. I didn't sit down next to across from somebody who started playing, pre-modern a month ago and is borrowing somebody's fucking dreadnought deck and just beat me down with dreadnoughts turn 2 both games. That's a little bit of salt in the wound right there, but taking a loss to Brian Selden would have been totally fine.
It's a new form of the deck too. Yeah, Oath Spec's new on the block.
Yeah.
Justin Provençal and I commentated your match, and I saw at least a few plays that you made that I would have disagreed with.
Sure.
And you were correct. I was wrong. I am a Magic player with almost as much experience as you. I started in 99, and we were grinding roughly the same time. I started pre-modern roughly about the same time period as you. And I saw plays that I would have vehemently disagreed with, and your plays were correct. So can you talk about that matchup? Do you remember the game?
Yeah, so game 1, I know, is the one I lost. Dealing with a Terravore, especially pre-board, is terrifying. Getting those big terravores out that got trample, is hard to deal with a lot of the time. So any time I played a therapy, I just named Terravore because I was terrified of it. And I think there was one point I had like therapied him naming Terravore, and then like 1 or 2 turns later I therapied him again, and I named Terravore again and got hits both times.
Yeah, Justin and I definitely discussed that play. I think I would have named, we were discussing that when you flash back to therapy, I'm like, what do we name? And Justin's like, Terravore. I'm like, no, it has to be Swords. Swords of Plowshares, because he just named a Terravore. I think Brian was down 2 Terravores at that point. And I was like, what are the odds the third one's in his hand? And you named Terravore and hit it. And I was blown away by your heads-up play in this situation, because I would have named Swords the Plowshares.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really too scared of swords usually. I have enough creatures in the deck that I'm not usually super worried about swords, especially if I've got the infestation making tokens. Like, you're gonna swords a token, I'll get back my reanimator, my creatures, and I'll make a couple more tokens. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, that was the same game that you made the other play that I possibly disagreed with, which was where you cast an Arrogant Worm off a Discord source and had to lose 2 gemstone mines to do it.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the later games. That was either 2 or 3.
Swords, the Cabal Therapy was 2 or 3 as well. I don't remember it was 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But it was 2 or 3 as well, and I was like, it can't be right to give up 2 mana sources for a 4/4 when my opponent's best creature, the Terravore, is going to be larger than that, and you didn't have a disenchant for you had a Ray, I think. You couldn't cover everything, and I was it can't be right to go down to 1 mana source against the Cataclysm Terrageddon deck. And why were you able to make that play where you're able to Stone Ring yourself twice in order to put a 4/4 Trampler into play?
I think I really, my only out, I think, was to just push as much damage as possible, as quick as possible, and hope that he didn't have the swords. And because I know that the longer the game goes on, the more it's definitely in his favor. The longer it goes on, I'm gonna get either Armageddon or Cataclysmed. I'm gonna have to face down that, Terravore that can kill me in 2 swings. And I think I just was like, I'm just gonna go for whatever the most damaging option is and just try to push it fast and get it over with.
No, I mean, you were correct. Your lines worked out both games after board, and they were the right move. So I just wanted to credit you with the foresight, because I would not have been bold enough to sack 2 lands to put a 4/4 into play when my opponent was at a decent life total.
I think that was game 3, because game 2 I think was the game that I top decked the 1 Sabo's Web to lock him out of his wasteland that he tapped.
Yeah, that was it wasn't. Sabo's Web can be very devastating in that game. It was kind of like medium, which is still great. You played a 2 mana Stone Rain and drew a card basically, but it wasn't as devastating as sometimes Sabo's Web against that deck is lights out. You catch 3 lands and they're down to 1 mana source. But I was really impressed by the way that you navigated that matchup, and you made some risky plays that I would not have instinctually made. So. Kudos.
Yeah, and I think part of it too was that I had that mentality of like, if I lose whatever, I lose to Brian Selton. So you know what? Let's just go for the gusto and try to finish it out quick. And I don't know that I don't know that I would have made any of the same play, some of those same plays, if I was playing against somebody else and I didn't have that like mentality of being okay with losing.
Got it. I mean, that's what it takes sometimes. You just need to have that courage for whatever reason. And again, you navigated that match brilliantly because on stream, Justin and I were discussing, and I disagreed with some of your plays, and they ended up being the correct move. So again, great job, dude.
Thank you.
So if we move to the finals, it's against Sean Morgan, who you had previously intentionally drawn with. Did you know what he was on at that point?
Yeah, I had. I think Sean just got back into Magic and was like just starting pre-modern because he was at the Saturday monthly that we had in Maine prior to this, and he was on Burn, and he said that was his like first foray into pre-modern and coming back to Magic. So I knew that he was probably on Burn, and then I confirmed with some other people, and
I commentated.
Knew that's what he was on. Yeah,
awesome.
I was in the booth for it. Yeah, when it gets uploaded,
nice.
You'll get to hear my beautiful voice.
Yeah, I watched the Twitch stream. I went back and watched all my games.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yep.
That was pretty one-sided.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty low both games. I mean, he had me at 10 game 1, and he had me at 4 game 2.
Wait, no, there was one game that like was kind of like, all right, you just didn't. I think that he just like couldn't top deck, and then there was another game where he vortexed, and you were like, okay, let's speed things up a bit, and then it was like he vortexed. And then you like turn to the tables real quick on him, and then he's like, "Oh, I don't think I like this vortex anymore."
Yeah, I think he vortexed. It might have been game 1, and yeah, I think I had out a zombie infestation, and I just said, we're going full speed, and just pitched my hand to make zombies and try to get in as quick as possible. Because I remember I duressed him like turn 1, the first game, I think. And he was running, is it Flame Rift?
Yeah.
The 4 damage to both players. And I think I took a Lightning Bolt instead. Because Flame Rift is essentially, it doesn't really seem like it gets him ahead. It's 4 to both of us. It's
it puts both of you
even damage.
Yeah,
it doesn't change the totals as far as that big of a deal. So I was just able to apply pressure both games with infestations and dodge some damage from him. I know he Price of Progress one of the times that I duressed him or therapied him, and that allowed me to get out one of his Fire Blasts, and I think he also got unlucky a couple times and just started top decking lands and couldn't get really any gas going.
I think there was one point where he drew 4 lands in a row.
Yeah, he was game 2, he was a shock away from winning. In game 1, he was a Fire Blast plus anything else away from winning.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too far away. It was game 1, a Fire Blast plus I think a Mog Fanatic would have done it. I know you finished the game at a higher life total, but he wasn't pointing his burn at you. I think he was pointing at the creatures at that point.
Yeah.
If he had the burn, he could have pointed it at you. The games were pretty close. How does that matchup feel for you?
I think it feels pretty good, honestly, because I played against Burn in the wait, did I use this deck in the monthly?
This would be
I know that I've played against Burn. Yeah, I couldn't remember if I played this in the monthly or not before. But I know I played Burn quite a few times with it and haven't lost a match. I think it's just about racing with the creatures, having the early creatures to block their creatures, and then just creating so much of an advantage that they have to point their burn at your creatures instead of you. But when you have an almost infinite engine of creating zombie tokens, you can usually do it quicker than they can, burn you out. Obviously, they're going to get some crazy, nut draws sometimes, and they're just going to go, right on curve into like a ball lightning and hit you for a bunch, and then have, the bolt, the incinerate, and then the double fire blast or whatever, and they're just going to do their crazy things sometimes. But it honestly feels like a pretty good matchup.
Awesome. Yeah, I was concerned when I was watching game 2. I was like, oh, Sean is likely to win this. And then he bricked, I think, something like 3 or 4 consecutive draws. And I was like, wow, I wonder if this matchup is actually favorable. But based on your experience, it seems like it is.
Yeah. And I think the other advantage I had in the top 8 in general was the fact that because I had to play that game with Sam in round 6, I was the number 1 seed in the top 8 because I was the only person with 6 wins. So being able to go first in all of my top 8 matches was definitely helpful.
Pretty hot with a deck as on the jump as yours.
Yeah.
Oh, and also Duress Cabal Therapy deck. Yeah, this is a pretty. Would you agree with it that this is a relatively play draw sensitive deck?
I mean,
while Aaron thinks about it, I think if you're running Duress and Therapy and creatures that are essentially free to Therapy, it feels less dependent, is how I would look at it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because, I'm almost never going to, if I have Duresses, I'll cast them turn 1, but I'm almost never going to Therapy turn 1 unless I know for certain what the person's on. So, turn 1 birds is almost usually a better play.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't really feel as bad if I'm on the draw.
That makes sense. So you won.
I
did.
Yeah.
I got my first Mox Diamond.
Congratulations.
Or at least my first one since I started again.
Yeah.
I played quite a bit back when, Stronghold was just coming out, and so I, had diamonds back when they were worth $15.
Not bad for a day's work though.
Yeah, $35 and a day of playing Magic and walking away with the diamonds, pretty good.
Feels good, man. Good for you. So,
yeah.
Shane, before we close this podcast out, I didn't mean to cut you off. Any further questions from the tournament?
Nothing from the tournament. If we wanted to move on a bit, I wanted to ask Aaron his takes on pre-modern.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what you thought of the format. Is there something you think should be banned? Should we unban something? Is it just kind of good as it is? Where are you at on the format, Aaron?
Fuck Dreadnought.
Well said, sir.
Is it just Dreadnought or a piece from Dreadnought? Can they have a Dreadnought, or should you just ban something else out to make Dreadnought weaker?
I'm not even saying that you should ban Dreadnought. I just find it incredibly annoying to sit down against a 12/12 trampler on turn 2 that I can't do anything about because my opponent invariably has 3 free counter spells in their hand.
Okay. So if you were to pick a card from Dreadnought that had to go, what's the card?
I think if I was going to pick one card to ban from Magic from pre-modern, it would probably be Parallax Tide. I hate that card even more.
Oh man, I will let Billy take it from here.
I'm working on getting over this, so I'm not gonna blow everybody's ears up, but I will say that Parallax Tide, the errata for it dropped prior to the Nemesis pre-release. So it would not be format revisionism if something happened to it. You know, it's a nice tide you got there. But it would be
myself.
almost, all you format purists should be on my side, because Tide never worked, and it wasn't until like sort of an Oracle consistency update. So all you historians, you're on my side implicitly. Glad to have you.
So when I played Standard with the Nemesis enchantments, they didn't work the way that they did now.
Correct.
And when I rejoined pre-modern, what was it, 2023? I believe I started playing pre-modern. I was dumbfounded that they worked this way. I was like, no, this doesn't work. There's an errata on these. And then someone corrected me, and they were like, no, they've unerrata the errata, so that you can just do these the way they were printed. I was like, this seems sus.
Yeah. Anyways,
but that's where we are.
I think pre-modern's in a good spot, honestly.
I agree with that. The people are
I don't
cool.
even know that you can ban anything. Like,
yeah,
there's always going to be an annoying ass deck.
Yeah.
For, in general. I mean, decks that I find annoying to play against are going to be different than decks that you find annoying to play against.
Yep.
And, I know a lot of people, scream, ban Tide, ban Dreadnought, ban, whatever. I think if you ban that, there's just going to be another deck that's going to come out that's going to be equally as annoying. And I mean, that's coming from somebody who plays Fluctuator at times, who just wants to combo out on turn 2 and say, see ya, loser.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's just a part of the game. There's going to be combos or pieces that are harder to get around or deal with. And sometimes you're going to play against them and, win. And you don't expect it. Like when I played Sam playing Replenish, I have no hope winning ever against Replenish. And I beat it, and I think that that's just the name of the game. You're going to have variants. You're going to have, the more people play one specific deck, the more people are just going to hate on it. And then people are going to catch on to the fact that people are hating on that deck and play decks that tool on the decks that hate on those decks. It's an ever-changing and evolving thing, I think.
Yeah, just a hater circle jerk. I can't help myself.
Pretty much.
I'm a hater. I'm a hater.
Pretty much, but I will still almost always scoop to a Dreadnought or a Tide, because fuck that.
Yeah. I know the feeling. I'm working on it. We need not dwell.
That's right.
I've been dwelling for, I don't know, 5 months on this. Cool. So that's the format change that you would recommend. What do you think about opposite color fetch lands? Just hypothetically. What would
bringing them in?
Yeah.
Like allowing like the Verdant Catacombs and
yeah.
I mean, I can see both sides of it. Like, I mean, you've got 5 of the fetches. Why not just include the other 5 to help mana fixing for decks? But at the same time, I think not having them just makes you get more creative with mana bases sometimes, and not having to play optimal cards all of the time. I don't get black green fetches in the decks I play. You just gotta deal with the fact of that and get more creative with your mana bases. I would be fine either way, honestly. I'm fine keeping them out and still just saying, let's play with what we got, and I'm fine if they get included.
Just getting a vibe check on it. I have no authority in this. I'm just, I like to ask. A year ago I was asking, what would you unban from black? So cool. All right, hot takes and vibes. We got that. Do you have any shout outs you would like to give?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to just all the deranged hermits up here in Maine, and the crew that I play with the most outside of tournaments. Mike Pereira, Chet Norton, Corey Abrams. Those are kind of the guys that I play with the most outside of tournaments and bounce ideas off of. And yeah.
Do you play much with Colton?
Not as much, no.
Not as much. I like that guy a lot. He's defeated me many times. He's a very powerful wizard. I don't know Corey though, except by like Magic Rep. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I didn't know you were a deranged hermit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Your gang logo is incredible.
Yeah. It came out good.
Came out real good. Do you?
It does suck that we can't ever hold an event and be like, yeah, we're gonna give out stamped cards because we're sure as hell not giving out stamped deranged hermits.
Print some, or give
we could do squirrel tokens.
The winner. Yeah, give a stamped one to the winner or something like that.
We could do stamped squirrel tokens or something. But...
That is a great idea. Or you could like raffle one off for charity, or like give one out as a door prize, like just as a random like puff. Like somebody gets a deranged hermit.
Yeah.
They're expensive, but they're not like, it's not like giving away like I don't know. It is a cost.
I mean, it's not like we're not going to do it like a door. You guys give out, your, like a duress or whatever, stamped duresses or whatever. Like we're not going to hand out, a stamped deranged hermit to 107 people.
Yeah. Sure.
You like a squirrel wrangler, right? That's like a couple bucks.
Yeah. I say just squirrel tokens and call it good.
That works too. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the stamped hermit or whatever for a winner.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Are you guys like mostly house games? Do you have a store you always play at?
We primarily play at Phyrexian Life Games in Scarborough.
Oh,
that's where
is that the Hermit's HQ?
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so Phyrexian Life
that's where
Games
the monthly
is squarely in Hermit's territory.
Yeah, that's where the monthly is down here every month. The first Saturday of the month.
Okay, got it. Is that like a... Okay, I didn't understand that. Okay, so you guys have a turf, you have a territory.
Oh, yeah.
You hang out, you eat acorns together.
That's right.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, cool. That's great. I have a shout out. Hang on. I have to pull this up on my phone. I preloaded this. This is a shout out for another crew. The 2025 Shared Discovery, our rival / ally / frenemy podcast. Shared Discovery boys. They're putting on a pre-modern peach ball on August 30th, 2025. It's in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I'm not from that area, so I looked it up. It's halfway between Atlanta and Athens. It's 40 minutes from downtown Atlanta. I don't know how the traffic is. I don't live there. But anyways, August 30th, Lawrenceville, Georgia. Go eat some peaches, play some pre-modern. They put on a good time. That's my shout out. Shane.
Oh, one last.
You got
one last shout out.
Yeah, hit us.
One more to Elliot Garza. He's also one of the hermits that we test with and play with.
Word. Hell yeah. Shane.
My shout outs are to the other crewmen who made this event so much easier for me. Jay ran a magnificent stream. Trent and Coyle did an excellent job on commentary. Billy, you did a great job on commentary and running the raffle simultaneously. So great job on that. Great Stories was a fantastic partner for us. Our judge, Justin, worked the entire event hard and, nailed it. So I just wanted to shout out the rest of the staff at the event that did a great job and helped us run another great event.
Excellent. So this is the interview with Aaron Lane, the victor of the Summer Pre-Modern Regional by Duress Crew, a phenomenal player on Black Green Madness, won himself a Mox Diamond, deranged hermits, chittering in the forest, chucking acorns at their competitors, making friends with all the forest critters. And thanks for listening. This is probably the season 2 opener. I'm not sure, but we're back, baby. We're back in business. You can't get rid of us.